Welcome back to the Red Wings Report with Strings and Pucks. This is Jeremy Laura. Thanks for tuning in again for 7-Minute Wings. I realize that pretty much every game I say the same thing. As Detroit heads into Pittsburgh, it's a must-win game. They have 9 games left. They're at 86 points. They realistically need to win 6 of those 9 games. And even more realistically, they need to win more than Ottawa, and they need to leap over someone to get into the wild card spot. So Detroit, they just have to win. If they win games, they can try to grab control of their destiny and try to get in. One thing I am noticing is that the rumor mill is starting. Last year, I kind of learned this. You guys know I don't do a ton of rumor talk anymore. Basically, the trade deadline and everything that's happened over the last year, there are so many bad rumors being put out there anymore. So right now, a lot of people are focusing on what's going to happen to Steve Yzerman if the team doesn't make the playoffs, and we don't know. He may be sent up in a president's role, and someone else gets a promotion to GM, but it's all speculation. We don't know what's going to happen to this team, and right now, we don't know where this team's going to end. So I do this channel. I am a Red Wings fan. I'm rooting them on. I'm hoping they can make it happen. Some side notes: Dylan Larkin's 1 goal away from 30. Alex DeBrincat's just a few goals away from 40. Moritz Seider has a chance to get 10 goals this season for the first time in his career. So there are some other things to keep an eye on. Lucas Raymond, he's disappointed in his goal output this year. So you're going to be looking for big performances. Of course, the team needs a huge performance from John Gibson. And just honestly, the team starts are killing them. Against Buffalo, Detroit had 3 goals on 8 shots in the first period. If they can score in the first period and score multiple times, the team has a way better shot. But if they get behind and if they get scored on first, it's going to be tough to come back. Pittsburgh's had a lot of fight in them this season, similar to what we saw with Philly and with Boston, teams that performed well beyond where they were speculated to be. So Detroit, if they can have a strong first period and score 2-3 goals like they did in Buffalo, I really like their chances tonight. But if they have another slow start and they can't put the puck in the net, and they're hoping for another solid 5 minutes in the third period where they can score 3 goals in less than 5 minutes, I don't like their chances in this one. So another must-win game. We're probably going to say that a lot, hopefully for the final 9 games, because if we stop saying that, it means Detroit fell off. So must-win game against Pittsburgh. Let's get it done. On the other side of things, I wanted to talk a little bit about some prospect news. Grand Rapids, what a gift they've been this season. The stress in Detroit has been unreal at times, but for Grand Rapids, it's been so many good times for that team as they set records in the AHL. Best record through 50 games, best record at the midway point. The team has just been unbelievable, and they're getting better. I've talked a little bit about this. Axel Sandin-Pellikka, he found new life. 3 points in 3 games, 2 goals, and an assist. They're back in action, I believe, tomorrow on the 1st, April Fool's Day. And I'm looking for ASP to be a difference maker each game down there. Let him find his game. Anton Johansson's been assigned to Grand Rapids. 6'4", absolute beast. He was paired with Shai Boyum last season, and the two of them were like a wrecking ball, kind of like the kids out of the Mighty Ducks, the Bash Brothers. You want that in Detroit's system anyway, so really excited to see Johansson coming. Now, on the Trey Augustine front, I was waiting to do this because I was hoping we get an update. There are at least 2 outlets who have said that he's slated to forego his final season. They said this on X. I'm just going to pull this up. WJR said Michigan State goaltender Trey Augustine expected to join Grand Rapids. And Woodward Sports went a little farther with it and said Michigan State goalie and Red Wings prospect is expected to go pro in the coming days. He's expected to join Grand Rapids. That's the expectation. Once something happens one way or the other, I'm going to announce it. But until pen is on paper, I'm not going to report anything any further. I'm hoping Augustine signs. They're saying he's going to. Great, let's get it done, and then we can move on from this. On the NCAA front, interestingly, Max Plante, as of 5 days ago, is quoted as saying he expects to stay in the NCAA for one more season. Now, there's some context to this. This is out of the Hockey News. At this point, he hasn't spoken to Detroit, but he's expecting to be in the NCAA for one more season, and he wasn't certain if Detroit had any NHL plans for him. Again, I don't know if it's just a wording thing. To me, Plante needs to put on some weight, unlike Augustine, who I think could jump in immediately, where he's going to be battling with Kosa, and if he outperforms Kosa in camp, it could get interesting. I think for Plante, you're looking at some AHL time just to get used to the strength and the speed of the game. NCAA to NHL is a massive jump. Maybe he's ready, but just size-wise, I think Plante still needs to put on some weight. At this point, it looks like he's headed back to the NCAA, but again, they haven't even had that conversation yet. And then finally, the prospect I was really hoping we would see, but I don't know, Carter Bear. The Everett Silvertips are up 2-0 right now in the postseason. So I'm going to pull up their bracket. Everett is playing Portland. They won the first 2 games pretty handily. They won game 1 8-1, and they won game 2 4-1. Carter Bear at this point has 4 assists. They're playing game 3 tonight, so I expect Everett to move on to the second round, and I don't know if we'll see Carter Bear in the AHL at this point. He's going to keep playing. Hasn't scored his first goal of the postseason yet, but he's got 4 assists in 2 games. So that's kind of a brief catch-up. No word on Augustine. If he signs, I might even do a quick update. Max Plante at this point saying he's heading back for another year in the NCAA. Carter Bear, his team's in the thick of it. They're heading into game 3, up 2-0, so they could have a deep playoff run. It's not a guarantee. We'll see him be able to join the AHL before their season's over. And Detroit, another must-win, and they're all going to be must-wins. So thank you for tuning in. If you're in Michigan, hopefully we've got some green coming up, and hopefully spring's on its way. But let's go Red Wings. Let's grab a win in Pittsburgh. Keep yourselves in it for the final 8, and we'll see how it goes. This was your 7-Minute Wings.